This is Arthur Inman, and he's sitting in the middle of a dark room and holding the microphone in front of him and talking into it and not knowing what on earth he's going to say, but saying it on as fast as he can. It is at 10 o'clock at night. The Christian Science clock has just struck, and Evelyn, his wife, has gone downstairs to get into her bed, and he put his arm around her and he wanted to kiss her good night, but he didn't because he's very shy about kissing anybody. Tomorrow I think I'll record what my family sounds like. Evelyn with her high voice, Mrs. Potter with her very low voice, Charlie with his moderate voice.
I first heard of the INMAN Diary through David Donald, who had read it and had been asked by the trustees to evaluate it to see how important it might be. When I first started to look through this stuff, and particularly the early chapters when he was first keeping the diary, when he was a kind of practically pubescent adolescent, awful, spoiled, terrible, mawkish. I said, my God, what have I got myself in for? There were times when I couldn't stand him. How can I deal with this man? And gradually, as I read on, I became quite fascinated by him. He was, in certain ways, a sick man. At the same time, he was witty, he could be comical, he could be imaginative and original, not a good critic, but at the same time shrewd in his insights. He was such a racist, particularly Jews, Catholics, Irish. He hated the Irish almost more than anything else, although he had friends who were Irish, and he had friends who were Jewish too. But he had to sort of pontificate on why Hitler was right, why Mussolini was right, that sort of attitude. It's hard to take, but gradually certain kind of wisdom and shrewdness came into his thinking. And there are moments when he's attractive and amusing, and other moments when he's loathsome.
At 552 Peachtree Street, I used to have to go early in the morning to Sunday school, and I used to have to stay all through Sunday school. I wasn't allowed to look at the funny papers or play music or go visiting or go walking or do anything.
The Inmans were Presbyterians. They were very active in the First Presbyterian Church. They did not dance. They didn't play cards. They were not socializing like many of their neighbors did in that regard.
Arthur Inman professed to detest his father and to have very strongly ambivalent feelings about his mother. When it comes to the subject of Arthur Inman and his wife Evelyn, a very, very mysterious relationship.
Evelyn, you have been in my life for 26 years. It's been a long time, and we've had our ups and downs, but I really don't regret it.
And I know you've made as nice a husband as anybody could possibly want. I'm the last person in the world who would want to be bored, and that you certainly never do.
Every morning, Evelyn gets some Johnny Walker in her little pink glass, and she calls it her little drink of the day, and she gets through a bottle of Johnny Walker about every 10 days, a quart bottle, and she says it makes her feel better. Maybe it does.
It eliminates my frustrations. It makes me able to feel as though I'm doing just what I like to do, because I can't mince words. I do like a little drink once in a while, so that's all there is to that.
Okay, I'll just talk a little bit and tell about Mama and how nice she's trying to be this year, and she's going to be so sweet and everything, and she's going to sit up with me late.
Well, it's only just the last year or so that Arthur understands her better, and that enables him to have a more tolerant attitude toward her, because he's decided she's half crazy anyway, and there's nothing he can do about it.
No, Mama, you're not half crazy. You're just crazy, just like me and all the rest of the nice people.
I don't think I've ever been able to understand. I never was able to understand her when I'd asked him later, after he died, why did you stay with him for so long? There must have been something there. She had loved him, and there was a certain kind of affection, even if his treatment to her was, well, you can't imagine it sometimes. It was so cruel and insensitive. Although he was devoted to her at the same time. It's a very curious kind of relationship.
Read about it! Extra! Extra! Extra!
I had an ad in the paper today, but nobody's going to come. Everybody has all the jobs they want, and they can do anything they want with them, and you only get people to work for you because they love you, not because they want the job. This is Roderick Martins, otherwise known as Roddy, and he is in here on Thursday nights when he comes to read to me. I'm now going to hand the microphone over to him. He has a very pleasant voice.
We have here a little classic called The Dancing Girl of Ganymede. We pick it up at chapter 4. Starts off after that for a moment.
How did your wife and your children?
Down on the wife and the children fine, they're beautiful, they're lovely. Did I tell you about Jane?
Shine on, harvest.
This is Ginger, and I'm in the library with Arthur.
When you stand up in these tight-fitting slacks, you know what I'm going to do?
You're gonna pinch me. I know you're
I
going
want to hear you
tickle.
squeal.
No, don't.
But I realized I shouldn't just
Very tall, he's got blonde hair and quite slender.
Okay, Paula, here we go again now. Tell me all about how Bud made love to you.
Oh, well, Arthur, we were sitting in the living room, and there was a beautiful fire in the fireplace, and there was lovely music, you know, just the way it should be. And the only thing he really did was kiss me a few times.
Why are all these boyfriends of yours so slow? Maybe they're too nice.
They are too nice. Every one of them is too nice. They just don't know how to live.
His rooms were always kept dark, especially when he had a special headache. I don't know exactly what was going on with him, but he would be in that room, and when I came to visit and knew that he was in that room, I knew that he was ill. So I just tried to stay with him and keep his mind off things.
Okay, now. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? It's been a long time since I saw you.
Oh, I'm fine.
And she's got 2 teeth missing. And it's what day?
Today's October the 3rd. It's on Saturday, and I came to visit Arthur.
You look very cute in your little dress that your sister made for you.
Ain't my sister talented to make such a pretty dress?
You've only got about 2 more seconds, so say your last word.
I love you, Artie.
Oh, boy.
He was very interested in people, very interested in their lives, and I think he was very lonely, actually.
Arthur doesn't like the sun either. It makes his eyes blink. Poor little Arthur, he's hurt so badly lately.
Noise will kill him all the way through. Noise has been the great demon. This diary is something very rare, novel, and interesting. He doesn't hold back, and even discusses his own qualities that are not likable and his own errors, at the same time with this immense pride. And then I think the people who came to speak to him were rather an extraordinary group. So it's a kind of cross-section of American society, somehow boiled down into these volumes of recollections, sharp observances, and then, of course, Arthur Inman himself presiding over it all.
I can hear Valerie tapping away at the typewriter. Milam is in the other room. Miss Potter is shutting my room down so I can go to bed whenever I want to. And this record is almost fixed, as everybody will say when they are transcribing it. Getting closer and closer to the end, and the typewriter is banging and the wind is howling, and I'm getting very tired, and I guess I'll stop before it goes off the end. Goodbye.
Goodbye. This is the end of the record, Arthur said.